Hey guys, Nick here, and today we will be getting into part 20 of What If Madison's Family Joined Rick, and we will see what Pete has in store for Michonne and Shane now that he's part of the Wolves for my second story, and what will happen with the last little bit of the Wolf arc going into the future. So, let's get into it. Pete has just knocked Michonne to the ground and stolen her blade when she realized it was missing, and now uses said blade to guide Michonne out of the house. All we know is that this sick plan of his regards her and Shane. Now, back at the house where everyone was originally, we have sort of the same group, barred a few extras. Carol goes on to tell the group there that Morgan has captured a wolf and is holding him hostage. Dale, after hearing this, believes that they should just keep it that way. Who knows, they might even be able to turn him onto their side. And much to a few of the people in the group's chagrin, Dale just says that they don't have to kill their way out of every situation. They can spare him if they're able. And Madison, being one of the few that seems on board with this idea to a fault, is about to say something when Michonne uneasily walks through the doorway. And this is very slowly, mind you, with a very sour expression on her face. And this unnerves everybody, like, what's going on? But then they slowly begin to see why. Pete is guiding her through the doorway with her sword in his hand, and says that if anybody makes a move, if anybody tries to shoot, if anybody does anything, he will not hesitate to kill Michonne, with her own weapon, no less. Shane, not caring at all about what's going on, just sees Pete, sees his girl, and just goes wild and raises up his shotgun in the blink of an eye, not even letting Pete finish his sentence, and is getting ready to shoot. But Pete says he'll let her go, bar at one condition. He wants revenge against Shane, but he doesn't want her to shoot Shane or do anything like that. He wants a fight, because when he barged into his home and just beat the living tar out of him, he realized that Shane just did this off guard. He wants an actual fight, and if Shane beats him in a fight, he'll let everybody can just go on with what they're doing. He doesn't care. But if he wins, he's going to kill Michonne, Shane, and everybody else around that he wants to. Shane just smirks at this because he really doesn't think that this is going to be any different than when he went to Pete and Jesse's home and, in Pete's own words, beat the living tar out of him. But Pete says that it's going to be different this time, because he knows how Shane fights, how ruthless he is, how he operates, and he knows how to best counter and maneuver his way around him in a fight. And he honors his word by saying if he wins, nothing that happens this fourth will be of his doing. But if he wins, then he's going to take or kill anyone that he wants. Basically a savior move before the saviors were even introduced. Besides the whole Pete and Negan thing. Anyways, they both get into a fighting position and start to begin their fight. Pete almost instantaneously tries to use Michonne's sword to just, slice at Shane or slice a part of him off or something. Try to end this quick, because he knows how Shane operates. He said so himself. But Shane blocks the sword with his shotgun. Surprisingly, the shotgun does not bust into two, but it's starting to bend a little bit. And Shane knows this. This was just a small tactic. So while he's defending with this, he uses one of his arms, having to put more strength into the other one to hold. He uses one of his arms to hide a pistol, his favorite pistol, getting ready to shoot. But Pete knows he's up to something, and he figures that he either has a gun or a knife at his disposal behind his back, because he was just holding both of his hands with the shotgun not 2 seconds ago. So Pete holds a knife behind his back, doing a similar tactic. So when Shane tries to get his gun out to shoot and drops the shotgun, Pete uses the knife to stab it straight into the center of the shooting chamber. So when Shane shoots the gun, it doesn't do anything because the sword, or knife rather, is stuck in the chamber. So that was pointless. And then Pete uses this opportunity to kick Shane square in the face. And this would be an epic fight scene. And then Pete tries to go for another kick, but this time Shane blocks it, effectively then grabbing Pete's entire leg, almost holstering him up in the air. And then, with all of his might, Shane throws Pete against the house wall, and within the span of 2 seconds, uses his shotgun to just blow Pete's freaking head off. So this fight would be an actually awesome fight, although it would be like a 2-minute fight. Still awesome nonetheless. But the problem's solved now, right? Wrong! Because we still have the wolves to deal with in the form of Owen, who is still captured, mind you. When confronted by the few people that come down there first, like Maggie, Madison, and Dale, Strand, few people like that, Morgan said that he was taught that and taken out of his crazy phase by someone who believed that all life is precious and that everything gets a return. And he wants Owen to experience that return. Or in this case, he would just say the wolf. I doubt his name would have been known by this time, or was ever known. And he says that it makes him feel like if he could get out of being crazy, especially what happened back at King County with Dwayne and everything else, that Owen can experience that change too. Because anything is possible, and he just wants to try. And Dale, he agrees with this, speaking out that he tried to explain that back at the house, and that he fully gets where Morgan's coming from, and that he doesn't know about everyone else, but he's willing to let Owen live too. But Strand, like a few others, isn't so willing, because he doesn't already like Morgan for what happened back at King County. Not because of Travis, well, kind of, but Strand was very selfish, as we know. So, honestly, he just wants to kill Morgan. He doesn't care about him. And hearing that Dale wants to side with the wolf also makes him mad. And Dale's about to speak out about this too, when Owen tries to make his move, because now everyone's kind of arguing amongst themselves, even though there's no actual fight this time. But Morgan puts him down with a stick, and Owen ain't going nowhere. But unbeknownst to Morgan, this gives someone the perfect opportunity to attack him. And then Morgan is grabbed by his shirt and his neck, thrown to the side, and then thrown right up against the wall. It's Strand. And this little diversion that Owen presented was secretly Strand's opening. He used the argument as the perfect opening, not to side with the wolf, but to get Morgan to drop his guard. Because ever since King County, if it weren't for Daniel interfering whenever he was fighting with Morgan, he could have put him down. But no, Madison and Daniel had to ruin everything, and he plans to kill Morgan here and now. Meanwhile, Carol presented the opportunity, prepares to aim a shot at Owen, but Dale steps in the way, surprising Carol a lot, as well as a few others. Because this would be a lot of conflict, especially in the span of a few minutes. Carol says that she cares about Dale. He doesn't have to do this, especially not for a wolf. But Dale says that they need to keep their humanity, and this is not the way. He said it before, he'll say it again. They can't kill their way out of everything. They have to keep their humanity. And if they don't, they'll just keep turning into monsters. He doesn't want that for anybody. And if you think this is What If Dale Survived remake, no, this is just because Dale's still around here. Meanwhile, Morgan fights back just enough to get Strand off of him and hits him with the stick. Because remember, even though he was off guard, he's not crazy, so he can think more rationally and has his stick and knows better fighting tactics than Strand. So obviously he'd get him off him. And Morgan and Dale stay head firm in the resolve to keep Owen alive, and no one's getting near him. Strand, losing his patience at this point, grabs his gun, or one of them, and is just at this point ready to just shoot and kill both of them. He don't care if it's an old man or Morgan or anything. He just wants them out of the way because they're in his way. And at this point, things are getting really heated. But then Madison, Shane, and Rick all converge. And now we got a bunch of people in this little prison area that's not even fully constructed into a prison yet. Shane, seeing the wolf now, even though he already had been told about it from Carol, and seeing all this conflict go down, raises his gun straight at the wolf too. And this just presents so much, heatedness. It would be just crazy. But now, this presents an opportunity for not just Shane, but Strand also. The team up that we've had happen before is about to become much more presentable here. Will Shane and Strand, both in their resolves to kill the wolf, turn against the group even though their resolves have helped the group? Or will killing Owen, or trying to, make them villains once and for all? And that's where we're going to leave things for the moment, at a cliffhanger to see if Shane and Strand will become full-time villains, even though their resolves have become villain-like, but not truly villainous. But that's the cliffhanger end-off for this episode. Hope you guys like this one and are enjoying the series as a whole. And with that said, like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video and want to see more. Comment a suggestion down below, and I will see you guys next time.